So yesterday we are learning about finance topic. Let me recap what we have discussed about finance till now. So I clearly told you in the demo. So I'm a functional expert, but not a technical expert. And if you want to learn this application, these skills are required. First, you need to have commerce knowledge or commerce knowledge. That means debit and credit. If you don't know about debit and credit, if you know positive and negative, more enough. Positive and negative, more enough. Domain knowledge or functional knowledge is most important. This domain knowledge or functional knowledge means it is real-time scenarios. Every topic, whenever I'm explaining, I will take with you real-time scenarios. So if you have questions like why, what, when, where, which, if you have questions, then it is answer is domain knowledge. So real-time scenarios. And you need to learn how to operate this application. Also, it is required. Many people will think like they will give high priority for this one, like how to operate. You know how to operate, but how can you express? Through domain knowledge, you need to explain. In your mind, whatever it is there, in the interviewer, in the interview, you are going to provide your knowledge to the interviewer, or whenever you are discussing with the client, or whenever you are discussing with the developer, you need to express your knowledge in your mind, whatever it is there, through your mouth. Whatever it is there in the mind, in the brain, that you need to express through your mouth. How can you do it? If you have domain knowledge, then only you can speak. If you know how to operate, you cannot. That will not help you. That only will not help you. You need to have domain knowledge. That is the reason domain knowledge with how to operate is most important. And little bit technical knowledge also required. That is, you are not writing any coding, but what are the technologies you are working? What is radio button? What is tab? What is text? What is small things you need to learn. Next, ERP concepts and interview techniques. All these things I will teach you. Okay. If you want to get a job, you need to have, along with this above skills, you need to have these skills also. Like good communication skills, educational qualification, joining the live sessions. Every day, join the live session, practice with the system, and discuss with your colleagues. All these things you need to do. This is in your hands. Completely, it is in your hands. Okay. Next, whenever I'm teaching, first I will teach you transactions, then masters, setups and configurations, parameters. So transaction means vendor invoice, vendor payment, customer invoice, customer payment, check returns, vendor check returns, customer check returns. Masters means customer account, vendor account, chart of accounts, etc. And setups and configurations. Setups and configurations means like setups means methods of payment, terms of payment. These are setups, cash discounts. Configurations means like how to create general name. And then you need to understand parameters. Once you understand all these things, then I will create a new company, new legal entity. That is a sample project. It is a sample project. In that sample project, you are going to create your setup. You are doing setups related to parameters and then setups and configurations, masters and transactions. So in the new company, you need to practice whatever you are learning now. You need to practice again in the new company. Once again, vendor invoice, vendor payment, customer invoice, customer payment. You need to learn in the new company. Okay. So the session will be 7 to 8 finance session. Finance session is 7 to 8. And July first week and second week, I will combine both finance and SCM. So you need to join at 6 a.m. You should not say like my scheduled time is 7 o'clock. No, it is 6 to 8 for 2 weeks. It is 7th week and 6th week and 7th week. July first week and second week, I will combine together. Okay. So you need to understand yellow color and red color, warnings and errors. You need to learn a lot about this errors and warnings. First, you are going to learn blue color means successfully completed. You are going to learn the positive scenarios or positive way, positive paths. Later, you need to understand errors and warnings also. Okay. if you want to get environment, you can approach Rajashekar. You can approach Rajashekar 94942 54826. Fine. So yesterday we are going to understand about vendor invoice, vendor payment. Sorry, vendor invoice, customer invoice. Whenever we are doing vendor invoice posting, okay, here we learned already in your commerce, you learned 3 golden rules: personal accounts, nominal accounts, real accounts. If anyone is, whoever is joined here, if anyone don't know about this golden rules, at least you need to learn now. Okay, you can take the screenshot for time being. If you want, take the screenshot and try to by heart these rules. If you are non-commerce background person, if you are a non-commerce background person, you need to remember these 3 golden rules. These 3 golden rules you need to remember. Okay. Personal accounts, nominal accounts, real accounts. Personal accounts, nominal accounts, real accounts. So debit the receiver, credit the giver. Debit the receiver, credit the giver. Nominal accounts means all debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. Real accounts means debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Okay. Debit means positive, credit means negative. How can I remember? Simple. You have debit cards in your pocket, credit cards in your pocket. If you have more debit cards, that means your money in the card is debit. It is a positive money. Credit card means if you are using this credit card means you need to pay money to the vendor. That is the reason it is a credit card. Okay. So if you have more debit cards, then you are wealthy person. If you have more credit cards, then your financial position is in dangerous. Okay. So you can remember this logic. Okay. You may not remember like this earlier. Okay. Your lecturers in your college, they have explained about debit and credit, but they have not given this simple example. With this example, you can understand easily debit and credit. Okay. So debit means positive, credit means negative. Debit means positive, credit means negative. Debit card and credit card, if you apply, you can easily understand. Now, I'm asking one question. Suppose you are working in some companies. At the month end, you are getting salaries. You are getting salaries. So, what is the message you will receive? If you are working in a company and if you are getting salary, you are receiving the message. What is the message you are receiving?
Salary
What?
credited.
Salary credited. But is it a credit amount to you?
No.
Then why it is giving us message like credited?
Balance has increased. Where it is increasing our balance.
But it is, as I told you, credit means negative. But it is message is coming credited. That means credit means positive.
It's a credit for the banks.
Exactly. Exactly. Because the message, whatever you are receiving from the bank server, bank is saying it is going out credit. For you, it is debit amount. For confirmation, your debit card balance is increasing. It is increasing your debit card. The message is telling like salary was credited to your bank, your account, but this is for you, it is debit. For the bank, it is credit. Because for the bank, it is going out. It is negative. It is decreasing the value. For you, it is increasing. So how can I remember? Because it is increasing debit card. Your debit card is increasing. So message is also correct. in terms of bank, not in terms of you. So logic you need to apply. That is the reason I told you whenever you are learning here, you need to imagine this is your company. This is your company. If you are imagining this is you are running your company, then you can easily understand. Imagination is the most important. Okay, fine. One is vendor invoice, vendor payment. Because you are receiving material, then vendor account will be credited. Vendor account will be credited. How can I remember vendor credit? Because I need to pay money. I'm borrowing from the vendor. I need to pay money. It is a negative balance. How to apply this logic? Simply the material giver. Personal account, the material is giver. So who is giving? This is your company. To you, who is giving money? Sorry, material? The vendor.
Vendor.
Metal is giving. Okay. So the giver. The giver, it is credit, golden rule. That is the reason at the time of vendor invoice, vendor account credit. And debit all expenses. Debit all expenses and losses. That's what it is. Debit all expenses. So expense account debtor to vendor account credit. So in this golden rule, personal account, debit the receiver, credit the giver. The giver, my company, for my company, who is giver? Vendor. Vendor is giving material. So the giver, that is the reason vendor account credit. And debit all expenses and losses. So this rule is applicable for vendor invoice. Debit all expenses, that is expenses account debtor to vendor account credit. This rule is applicable for vendor invoice. Simple logic. If you apply this logic, it will be there. Now, next, customer invoice. Customer account debtor to revenue account credit. Because in this golden rule, the receiver, I have added amended material, but in reality, I cannot. In reality, I should not. But for understanding purpose, I'm adding. But as per the rule, I should not add anything here because this is a rule, international rules. Okay, but for your understanding purpose, I have added material receiver. So whenever you are doing from our company, the customer is receiving the receiver. The receiver. So this we are applying here. Sorry. Customer account data to the receiver. Okay, the receiver, the customer receiver. So debit the customer and revenue account credit. So here revenue is credited. So customer account data to revenue account credit. The reason behind the receiver from the personal account rule, we have debit the receiver and revenue account credit. All incomes, credit all incomes and gains. That's what it is about. So is it really complex now? And as I told you in the demo session, I will discuss with you about debits and credits. Even if you are non-commerce background person, you can learn this commerce. It is not a complex. I'm going to give you clarifications on debit and credit. That is enough. to become a finance functional consultant. Okay, you are going to become a finance functional consultant, but not accountant. With my training, commerce knowledge, you cannot become an accountant. If you want to become an accountant, you have to have that CEC commerce, BCom commerce you need to have. Then only you can become an accountant. But finance consultant, yes, you can understand debits and credits. That is enough. So I'm giving clarifications on debits and credits. Okay. And here, vendor invoice, customer invoice. Yesterday we discussed vendor invoices can be done in 10 different ways. In this, you learned only one, vendor invoice journal. Yesterday I have taught, but I will show you once again, vendor invoice journal. Next, customer invoice. So customer invoice also can be done in 9 different ways. Credit invoice, sales order invoice, sales order to sales order invoice using the warehouse management, advanced warehouse management, sales order process using transportation management, then item journal, expense journal, hour journal, item requirement, sales order process. Sales order using PMEA. Okay, all these are different ways we can do invoices. All these things you will understand, but these things you will understand high level picture only. Only high level. WMS, TMS, landed cost, advanced inventory management. I will not teach you in depth because that itself it is required 50 to 60 hours. And PME also I'm not going to teach you here, but I will give you high level picture. PME. Okay, fine. You are going to learn high level picture about these two. Fine. Now let us understand these two steps: vendor invoice, customer invoice. So invoice journal, vendor invoice journal, it is in accounts payable, invoices, invoice journal. Let me show you this one. Let me go to the application. Let me close these things. So you need to click on browser, any browser, and you need to enter username like the link, the web link, and then you need to enter username and password. You need to enter username and password. Okay, fine. Now you need to go to USMF company. You need to go to USMF company. Then you need to click on here. Accounts payable module. Accounts payable module. Collapse all. Invoices. Invoice journal. This is the path. Accounts payable, invoices, invoice journal. Okay. You need to click on new button. Select the journal name. Now this journal name from where it is created means how to create means it is a part of configurations. So it is available in general ledger, collapse all, journal setup, journal names. Here we'll create. This is called configurations. So this configuration you will understand in future. Okay, we have selected journal name. You have to click on new button, select the journal name. So journal batch number, it is coming from parameters. How it is coming, we'll discuss later. Now you need to click on lines button. So here the date is coming, voucher is coming, number, all these things you will understand slowly. Now The date is coming from here. General ledger, collapse all, ledger setup, ledger. Here you are mapping the calendar. From this calendar, it will execute this number. The date is coming from here. The logic is coming from the here ledger form. So this ledger form is very, very, very important. Okay. In this one, it is accounting structure. Accounting structure is very most important. It is called accounting structure. I will call it as brain. I will compare this accounting structure. Accounting structure. I will call it as brain. The most important part in finance. Okay. In item model group. This I will call it as item model group. It is I will call it as heart. This is a part of SCM. This is part of, this is from finance. Okay, this is from SCM. Supply chain management, trade and logistics. The most important parts. One is brain, one is heart. Because any human being, brain and heart is very, very important. These two parts you are going to learn in depth. Okay, I will call it as this ledger. I will call it as ledger, also most important. This I will call it as head. Okay, this form. This form is head. Okay, to remember, I'm just using I'm comparing human being with ERP. This is head. This is accounting structure is brain, and this is heart. Item model group is heart. Very, very important parts. Fine. Now we clicked on new button, select the journal name, go to lines. Now select the vendor account and invoice date and invoice number. What is this actually? So here you are purchasing water bottles. I'm purchasing water bottles. Why I'm purchasing? This is purchasing for my employees. I need to facilitate my employees. So this is expense items. These are expense items. You are purchasing expense items. We are purchasing expense items. For that, we are going to use this. Okay, we are purchasing water bottles. Whenever you are purchasing any material, your vendor will give the invoice. He will generate invoice copy. Whenever you are purchasing water bottles, you will take invoice. Okay. So he need to generate 3 copies, 1 copy for his filing purpose, 1 copy to give it to you. It is, you will understand this process in purchase order invoice process in accounts pay in SCM topic. I will discuss with you, but he will give the invoice copy to you. That invoice number you need to enter here. Invoice number and invoice date. It is must. Suppose you have not entered invoice number and invoice date. Okay, and you are purchasing water bottles $25. Someone joined. Okay, fine. So your expenses account I have entered, vendor account credit. Now I'm trying to post. It will throw error message. Invoice number is not filled in. Because invoice number is very, very important. You will receive material along with invoice. So what is this material means? It is for your consumption purpose. Consumption purpose means you are going to utilize these water bottles, tissue papers, A4 stationery, pencils, pens, notepads. You are purchasing. That is this one. So it is must invoice date and invoice number. Okay, invoice date and invoice number must be entered. And vendor account credit. I told you here, vendor account credit. Because we need to pay money. It is a negative balance. We are receiving material from the vendor and we need to pay that money. That is credit minus. So post. So now if you verify the voucher, it is expenses account debtor to expenses, office expenses account debtor to vendor account credit. Expenses account debtor to vendor account credit. That's what we have written. So how can we apply this one logic? Nominal accounts, debit expenses and losses, debit all expenses and losses, credit the giver. That's what the rules we have applied. Next, pretext invoice. It is providing service to the customer. So it is in accounts receivable, invoices, all pretext invoice. All pretext invoice. This is the path. Okay, providing service invoice, services to the customer. You are providing services to the customer, then we'll use this one, pretext invoice. Let me show you in the system. Accounts receivable, collapse all, invoices, all pretext invoices. Click on new, select the customer. Select the customer. Automatically it is filling terms of payment, methods of payment, currency, all these things it is coming. From where it is coming, how it is coming, you will understand in future. What is this terms of payment? What is this method of payment? Fine. Scroll down. Now revenue account, revenue will be 4 series. Okay, I'm removing taxes intentionally. I will discuss with you taxes later. Suppose $35. So customer account and revenue account. Post it here. We are not deciding debit and credit. It will do automatically. Click on post button. Click OK. Now, if you go to invoice related information, invoice journal, voucher at present is empty. Now we are going to general ledger module, periodic tasks, sub ledger journal entry is not yet transferred. Transfer now. So why I need to do it? You don't know. So I have written as a pending point. What is this subledger journal entry is not yet transferred? This you will learn next month end or July 1st week. You are going to learn this one in July 1st week. What is this subledger journal entry? Is not a transfer. This is you will learn after 1 month, 1 week. So here now, if you transfer now, the voucher will be shown here. Now customer balance account data to revenue account credit. Customer balance account data to revenue account credit. How can I remember? The receiver. The receiver. Because customer is receiving services from our company. So customer. And revenue account credit. Here, revenue account. All incomes and gains, it is revenue. So customer account data to revenue account credit. The receiver and all incomes and gains, it is credit. If you apply this rule, this. Okay. So this is vendor invoice and customer invoice. You learned vendor invoice, customer invoice. Any questions till now? Any questions till now? Any questions? No questions. Now, vendor payment, customer payment, let us understand. Let us understand vendor payment, customer payment. I'm taking duplicate. So vendor payment. So vendor payment means here you have received material from the vendor. Whether you are paying money to the vendor or vendor will pay to you. Whether you are paying to the vendor or vendor is paying to you. Vendor payment means
we are paying to vendor.
we are paying money to the vendor. Now, suppose in your pocket 200 rupees is there. You have given 100 rupees to vendor. Then how much amount it will be there for you in your pocket? In your pocket, 200 rupees notes are there. 100 rupees note you have given to your friend or vendor. Then how much amount it will be there in your pocket? 300?
100 rupees.
100 rupees. So it is decreasing. Am I right? If you are paying money to the vendor, it is decreasing. That's
Yes.
what it is. Vendor account. Sorry. Your cash or bank balance is decreasing. Agree with me? In your pocket, cash or bank is decreasing. If it is a vendor payment, it is decreasing your cash. That rule is what goes out. Credit what goes out. Credit what goes out. That rule. So if you, for better understanding, you can make it your money. See, I cannot amend like this, but for your understanding purpose, I'm doing this one. I cannot. So it is what goes out. Credit what goes out. This is the rule. Credit what goes out. Your money is decreasing. This rule we are applying. Suppose customer payment. Actually, it is customer receipt, but global word, it is customer payment. But it is customer receipt. From the customer, we are receiving money. So now your friend has given money to you, or your customer has given money to you. So receiving money, receivable, receiving money. Then your cash balance or bank balance will be increased or decreased.
Increased.
Increased.
So cash or bank account debit. Cash or bank account debit. What comes in is debit. The rule. Simply. At the time of vendor payment, your cash is going out. At the time of customer payment, money comes in. Money is coming to you, to your cash or bank. That is customer payment or customer receipt. Now, the remaining voucher. Here, at the time of vendor invoice, vendor was credited. Now, vendor will be debited. So that it will become 0. And at the time of invoice, customer is debited. Now, customer will be credited. For this, there is no rule. There is no rule because at the time of invoice, it is credited. Vendor invoice credited. Now it is debited. And here it is debited at the time of customer invoice. Now we have credited. So you need to remember debit what comes in, money, credit what goes out. Money. This is money. Comes in, goes out. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So in your 5 years, 7 years learning is very in the 5 years or 7 years journey, it is very difficult to remember debits and credits for you, for sure. Now your travel is easy. Agree with me? Yes or no? With simple logic, you can remember. Yeah. Any doubts on this debits and credits? Of course, this debits and credits is not Microsoft Dynamics. It is commerce knowledge. It is commerce knowledge. Okay. I told you along with your training, I'm going to teach you about these debits and credits. Positive and negative. This positive and negative. Simple. If you don't know debit and credit, simply use positive and negative. Then you can easily understand. Yeah. So let me show you vendor payment and customer payment. Vendor payment, customer payment, let me show you in the system. So here, accounts payable, collapse all, payments, vendor payment journal. You can click on new, select the journal name, select the journal name. This journal name from where it is coming. Once again, here, general ledger, journal setup, journal names. Here it is there. It is vend pay. Vend pay. In the new company, you will do all these things. At that time, you'll understand. Vend pay is vendor payment. Click on lines button. Okay, select the vendor. Now, here, whether it is debit or credit. Whenever you are doing vendor payment, your money is decreasing because you are paying money to the bank. From the bank or cash you are paying. So your money is decreasing, credit. So vendor will be debited. Otherwise, you can click on settle transactions. Already invoices generated. It will show you already invoices. You can select the invoice, click OK. Then automatically it will be updated debit. Okay. So bank, I will show you Monday. Bank, I will show you Monday. I'm selecting cash. I'm selecting cash. Here, petty cash 110180. It is a petty cash. I'm paying cash. So save. Now post. So if you are doing payment to the vendor, your cash balance or bank balance will be decreased. So cash will be credited. Cash will be credited. And vendor account debit. Your cash will be decreased. Next. So it is in accounts payable. Vendor payment means accounts payable, payments, vendor payments. Next, customer payments. So accounts receivable, collapse all, payments, customer payment journal. In India, we will call it as receipt. Actually, we will call it as receipt, but it is in the system, it is global word is payment, but we are receiving money from the customer. We are receiving money from the customer. So click on new, select the journal name, go to lines, select customer account. Now there is a confusion debit and credit. Actually, we are receiving money from the customer. That means our cash balance or bank balance will be increased. Okay, so it is, I'm taking cash 110180. This is a petty cash account. Okay, your cash balance will be increased. So customer will be credited. But how can I remember customer credit? You can ignore. Simply you can select invoice. You can select invoices. You can select the invoice. Click OK. So it will be credited. Your cash balance or bank balance will be increased. It is debit. And customer will be credited. You can post. So now if you verify the voucher, cash balance account data to customer account credit. Your cash account data to customer account credit. This is customer balance. Actually, if you remember, if you observe, I have selected customer account number US001, but it is posting to 130100. From where it is coming? This is different. US001 customer, but it is posting to 130100 accounts receivable. Of course, it is posting to customer balance, but from where it is coming? This is called ledger subledger concept. Ledger versus subledger. This is one of the ERP concepts. Some ERP concepts. So I told you in the training demo, I clearly told you ERP concepts. In this, you are going to learn ledger versus subledger. In future, you are going to learn. And enterprise level data. These concepts you are going to learn. This is called ERP concepts. So now if you go back here, it is posted to customer balance credit. Now petty cash, cash or bank account data to customer account credit. That's what here. So the third golden rule we have used real accounts. For this we have applied this payment for vendor payment and customer payment. For vendor payment and customer payment, we understood like the third golden rule. The third golden rule we understood. Any questions, please? I'm sorry. Any questions?
One thing, while practicing whatever the journals you are posting today, once the session is log out tomorrow when you log in, those journals you are not finding on next day.
You are not able to find that.
Those journals what you posted today, if your session is log out tomorrow log in, then we are not finding those journals what you posted.
No, it will be there. Here you can see posted transactions. You can see here. Now, which URL you are using?
Rajshekar is configured in my system. That you,
It will be there in the posted one.
okay.
You can see by clicking on posted, you can see like this. Yesterday we have posted one transaction. Remember? Yes. 24. Yesterday it is some transactions are there. It is there.
Okay, sir. I will check. Not checked in posted. Like,
yeah, you can verify. So by default, it will show you not posted. From here, you cannot see. If you go to posted transactions, then you can see the transaction.
Yeah, got it. I am seeing in non-posted general standard use.
Yeah. That is the reason it is a confusion to you. Any more questions, team? Any more questions? Okay. So Monday, I will teach you about next session. I'm going to teach you about. This is Monday session. Vendor payment. Vendor bank payment. Or vendor check payment. And then customer check payment. These things you are going to learn on Monday session, next session. Okay. So Monday also the same link. See, it is the session will be Monday to Friday. Remember, the session is the sessions will be Monday to Friday. These three sessions, whether it is finance, trade and logistics, SCM, and warehouse management, these three are Monday to Friday sessions, and these two are weekend sessions. Manufacturing and PMA weekend sessions. So these are weekdays. Weekdays means Monday to Friday only. So Monday also the same link, it will not be changed. But Tuesday onwards, the link will be changed. So whoever is interested, you need to approach me or you need to approach Institute, and we'll give you the new links from Monday onwards. Okay. And not only this one, vendor payment, vendor check payment and customer check payment. And you are going to learn about chart of accounts classification. Chart of accounts classification you are going to understand. So let me write down this chart of accounts, but Monday we'll discuss with you in detail. 1 assets, 2 liabilities, 3 equities, 4 sales revenue, 5 cost of goods, 6 expenses, 7 other incomes, 8 appropriation. Okay, 1 assets, 2 liabilities, 3 equities, 4 sales revenue, 5 cost of goods, 6 expenses, 7 other incomes, 8 appropriation. This classification you will understand on Monday morning. So how it is classified? It is not a rule. This is best practice. This is best practice only. This is a best practice only. But whereas this one is a rule. Whether you like it or don't like it, you need to follow. But here it is not a rule. This is best practice. Chart of accounts classification. Trial balance is equal to, you will understand in detail, trial balance. Trial balance is equal to balance sheet plus income statement. Or profit and loss accounts. Once again, these are also commas. Trial balance is equal to balance sheet plus income statement or profit and loss account together. It is balance sheet. And this chart of accounts classification, assets, liabilities, equities, sales revenue, cost of goods, expenses, other incomes, and appropriation. These things, once again, this is related to commerce. I will discuss with you on Monday about these things. Okay. From Tuesday onwards, 4 is paid fee. Those people only will be allowed in the session. Monday will be the same link you can join. Before wind up, any questions, please? Anyone have any questions? Any more questions? Okay, Monday onwards, it will be regular without any disturbance. It will be 7 to 8 means exactly 7 to 8, the session will be continued. Okay, if anyone want to speak, please unmute and you can speak. Otherwise, you can ping me in WhatsApp. We'll discuss together. If you have any questions, any doubts related to anything, whether it's related to fee or anything, any questions, any doubts, you can discuss with me now or in WhatsApp. Otherwise, we can wind up the session for today now. Okay, we'll connect once again on Monday morning, same time, 7 a.m. IST. See you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Yeah, Kasturi, you can unmute and you can speak if you want. Anyone want to speak? Anything? Nothing. Then you can ping me in WhatsApp if you want any more discussions in my WhatsApp. Okay. See you all. Bye-bye.